our house. We always watch Wizard of Oz, but we don't have broadcast TV anymore.
Right.
And so it's all like Netflix.
You can stream Wizard of Oz. You're making some excuses
no,
right
no,
now.
No, I'm just saying, like, I don't ever think of it, though, because it's not like...
You're selling the wizard short in this moment, I believe.
We even have it on DVD, so if you don't want to stream it and you have a DVD player...
It's not that I'm anti-Wizard of Oz.
To all of the Rice children that may be watching this, come see Mr. Kevin. We'll watch the Wizard of Oz. It's all good.
All right.
But what was that? Is it Dark Side of the Moon? If you line it up with Wizard of Oz, it fits perfectly. Is that? Do you remember that? Do you ever hear?
I do not know that one, but I do know if you play most Hank Williams Jr.'s albums backwards, you get your dog back, your kids back.
Oh my gosh!
Got my truck back and my wife.
And this is what we're in for. Welcome to lunch break today,
Meredith
everyone.
was like, "What have we done?" You know,
And
you had
I
this
did
little
this.
reprieve. You had a reprieve for a while where I was nice and I said nice things all the time.
Mostly,
that's over.
yeah.
It's over now.
It's done now.
And I did it to myself because I'm the one that invited Kevin. Anyway, we are glad.
And, hey, did you hear the sound of the bus before it backed over
That's
you?
okay though. I'm good. I feel it.
Okay.
Feeling the love.
Glad you're here today.
Have we welcomed him?
Yeah, I'm about to. Just give me a chance. See, now he's going to join in because you're here. Welcome to Lunch Break, everybody. I'm Meredith, and I'm here today with Pastor Jay and with Kevin Hyde, one of our elders.
Hello.
And we are thrilled that you're here. We are, truly.
I
am
can tell.
thrilled you're here, truly. But I wanted to have you on to talk, first of all, about this past weekend.
Yeah,
It's awesome. It's
I
unbelievable.
mean, tell us about the barbecue.
Yeah, absolutely. I think at one point I looked at Dave Maness, who if I could say something about one person, like we were all out there, Christian and I are there. Both of us are, in our 40s. We're not dying yet. We're out there working hard and doing these things. And, here's Dave, and he just was step for step was the most amazing servant.
Yep.
And it never was about him taking charge of anything.
Yep.
It just, again, if you always look for that servant leadership in an individual. And Dave Maness this weekend was absolutely phenomenal. But yeah, there was a bunch of people, Christian Pitts and Stickles, and I'm going to forget people, so I don't want to go into names. But I looked at Dave at one point with just tears in my eyes, and I said, it's not so much the 200 people that are here eating. It's the number of people that are just jumping into holes where they see it. Yeah. To make sure that people are having, that things ran seamlessly. So I just, we started it. I think Christian told me we both worked about 35 hours in 3 days.
Yeah.
And, but it was at the end of the day when we were packing up and leaving, it was the most rewarding thing I've done in quite some time. So I hope everybody enjoyed it as much as we did, but I know for those of us that were here all weekend, it was great.
Yeah, Christian walked 13 miles on Sunday.
13 miles.
Is what his watch said.
Yeah. Okay. That sounds about right.
Miles.
I mean, because he was... Both of y'all, like the whole crew was like back and forth and going and doing, and it was so cool.
We moved the smoker this year because we wanted to make sure that we were out of the way for the women's tea. Which, by the way, I had a chance to go in there and see that. It was beautiful.
Yes.
Like the whole setup was beautiful. The work that the ladies put into that. So we wanted to make sure that we weren't interrupting in that. But what we figured out was once we were over there, we really liked being over there.
Good to know.
Because it kind of puts us sort of out of the middle where
you got the shade
perfectly. There's not smoke going all over it where everyone's eating.
Kids, you didn't have to worry about kids running into it.
Didn't have to worry about
kids.
So it really was, and one thing that I think we're trying to do is we're trying to make sure that we're constantly evolving.
Yeah,
as
absolutely.
we as a church grow and we get bigger, we want to be able to show that by being able to do a little bit more, something a little bit different, so that it just doesn't ever lose its value in fellowship and its value in having really good barbecue. I mean, I think one of the takeaways for me is for making 18 pork butts, we didn't miss on many of them. Those pork butts were really good.
I know I said this on Sunday, from the platform. I was like, this may be the best barbecue we've ever had. 100% true statement. I think that was the best we have ever done. I mean, we've never missed the barbecue. Like it's always been, wow, this is really good.
Right.
Wow, this is really good. This was next level. Like melt in your mouth, amazing.
Yes.
So good. And that was just on the food. I mean, it's so good.
One of my favorite moments behind the scenes was when y'all got on Sunday morning that first pork butt out that had been in the warmer all night long. Okay, because they smoked the barbecue on Saturday.
Yep.
They put it in the warmer overnight. They got it out. Kevin got it, and he what do you call it when you pull it all apart? Pull it apart.
Sure,
Sorry, and we all tried it, and with tears in his eyes, Kevin turned around and he and Christian bear hugged each other. They're like, we did it.
Well, I think both of us probably, because that was something different, you know, like last year we pulled it, and then when you pull meat like that, though, you have to let it cool down. Mm-hmm. And so what I think a lot of folks don't recognize is, and I'm sure a lot do that have cooked pork butts, but they don't all cook at the same speed.
Yep.
So there were some of those pork butts we put on at 6 o'clock on Saturday morning and didn't take them off till 9 o'clock on Saturday night. And so for us, it was about, you know, what's a better means to make sure that we're not losing something. And last year it was good because we put a little orange juice on it. We were able to douse it down with a little bit of seasoning. But this year we just made the decision to say, all right, we're going to do it. And there's only one way to try. Mm-hmm. And unfortunately, we, you know, both of us, I think, laid there that morning, got up thinking, I'm going to open it up. It's going to be dry. It's not going to pull apart. We're going to have to figure out how to save it. And we pulled that first butt apart. It was absolutely phenomenal.
It was.
Yeah, I was sold at that point.
And they bear hugged each other.
We did bear hug each other.
But fantastic.
I love you, Christian Pitts.
Hey, watch it now.
Hey, not as much. And I got to throw another name out there because she deserves the credit. Natalie Pitts was an absolute trooper this week.
She's hardcore, man.
She really was. I mean, literally, she was climbing out of the truck with Christian at 6 o'clock in the morning.
Yep. She did.
She was there hand for hand all day long. Yep. You wanted something. Christian and I needed something. Nat was right there with it. I mean, she knew that chicken's coming off. They need a half pan. You know, barbecue's going in. They need this. And just that her love and her joy of serving was just it's so much fun to be around. And Nat's my hero.
And she loved it. She loved every minute of it.
Oh, I bet.
I heard that on her way home, she on Saturday she had a little extra.
What happened?
So she had been out there since 6 o'clock Saturday morning.
Right.
She's gonna kill me. I'm sorry, Natalie. I love you. She'd been out there since 6 o'clock.
It's Kevin's fault.
They had gone down to the creek there, because you know there wasn't. Y'all did some sitting around on Saturday. Let's be honest.
For sure.
Some sitting around. Played outside, played basketball, sweated, was there around the smoker, all the smell, all the thing. We got in the car that evening, and I had to roll the windows down. She smelled so bad. That's a good day right there.
It is a good day.
That's a good
It is a good day.
Oh.
Hey, that trooper was back up Sunday morning and right there ready to go. And so, yeah,
awesome.
She was awesome.
Yep,
she was so good.
She was great. So, well, good. Well, I tell you that the seeing you guys bear hug, that was one of my most favorite moments. But also just seeing Northwest members embrace some of the new people that we saw on Sunday was today. Fantastic.
At lunch, we had a staff luncheon. Maggie Horton's birthday, turned 40, so that's pretty exciting.
Mm-hmm.
But
today, actually,
today.
Happy birthday, Maggie!
Happy birthday, Maggie!
Yep.
So anyway, Maggie's she's come on staff part time in our children's ministry, which is really exciting. We're so excited to have her on the team. But so we went out, and it's her 40th birthday, so and we were talking about the barbecue, and that was one of the things that around the room, the staff all was like, wow, you had people who were just going over, hey, are you new? Great. And they would sit down and they would talk. Mm-hmm. And it wasn't like we had to make them do it or go, hey, see that? There's a new person.
Yeah, we didn't have any agenda.
No. It was just like people, the church being the church, and it was beautiful to watch. It was so good.
Yeah, I think too, you know, and it probably goes without saying, but we've been talking a lot about Christ in the community through the podcast. And I think that in this moment, we really got a chance to see it. You know, one time for me is looking out in that field and seeing all of those kids out there. Yep. There had to be 50 kids out in that field that were all out there playing. Yeah.
And unstructured play, too.
Absolutely.
Good. Yeah.
Absolutely. It was just people that were genuinely happy to be amongst other people, enjoying conversation. It looked like a family. And I think I touched on that a little bit when we prayed to open, is that, you know, it looked like a family of people that were out there having dinner. It was really, really just an absolutely phenomenal time.
And what was cool, I think, one of the other things is, you know, it was multi-generational. Mm-hmm. It was multiracial. Mm-hmm. It was, you know, believers, non-believers, kids, people who haven't been kids in a while. Like, I mean, like, and everything in between. And it was for me, it was a slice of what heaven's going to look like someday, you know, because that's what, I mean, every tribe, tongue, nation, place, age, I mean, it's like It's just good.
Well, there were, and to be fair, just being an elder, you unfortunately have to hear a lot about some of the backside stuff. There were people out there that have been having some personal issues with one another in fellowship, talking and hugging. And so, I mean, I just think it was an awesome bridge for us that just brought the family together.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Anybody that was a part of that, I would feel left there feeling, hey, you know what? We were fed. We you know, there was no pressure. There was no events that needed to take place. So it was awesome, and I definitely think we've kind of set the bar for where this next one's got to go.
I agree.
That's good.
I agree.
All right, we got an idea.
Thank you for
Yes,
putting
that's
in
just what I was about to say.
35
yes,
hours.
Oh no, it's an absolute joy.
Yeah.
It was
So
good.
if I'm being fair.
Well, you mentioned a few minutes ago about your podcast,
Yeah.
and that's another reason I wanted to have you here
Awesome.
today. Is tell us a little bit about what you've been doing.
Yeah, so I've been on a bit of a hiatus with my dad. A lot of people know my dad passed away, and so I've been dealing with that a little bit. But we have 3 episodes that are out right now that are online. Anybody can go to Apple Podcasts and download those. It's great. You know, it's really given us a chance to take a step back and just have genuine conversation in regards to where do we see Christ in our community? What can we be doing more to bring Christ to the forefront? This all kind of developed with me a long time ago when Rick Olson, a guy that goes to church with us, Rick made the comment to me, preach the gospel and when needed, use words. And it hit me in a way where it's almost that idea of, do people actually see Christ in us? You know, do they look in our communities and say, hey, this is where I see Jesus working inside of our community? And unfortunately, I feel like, you know, we are a majority of people still that believe in Christ, that believe in, if anything else, believe in moral value that comes from believing in Christ. You know, we don't have that large of our population that's going to church and that's doing the, you know, the things that may look religious, but the majority of our of our population does believe that there is a God, and they do believe that there is moral value. And so, you know, where do we see that, you know, in our communities? You know, you definitely don't see it at the red light at 92 and 41. You know, you don't see Christ there. So, I mean,
That's your favorite.
It's my
thing,
favorite.
Well,
I tell people all the time, are you a left lane Christian or a right lane Christian? Left lane Christians are the ones that are okay and just kind of let you merge in on the other side of the red light. Right lane Christians are the ones that, but you always have the person that kind of gets in there and
I'm not
bumper to bumper, nobody's getting in.
I
laugh all the time. I say, do we really feel like our government paid that much money to put the extra turn lane in for that little bitty gas station in a flea market? Or were they thinking more generally that all the cars would get through the red light and act like human beings on the other side? That way, twice as many people get to go through the light as we're going to go through there before. I'm no engineer, Scott, just throwing things together here.
See, I'm teaching my daughter. It's like, it should be like a zipper. One after the other.
But we don't act like human beings on the other side of it.
Oh, no way.
And look, here's another thing, too, that I think a lot of people need to ask themselves. And we were talking briefly about this in the beginning as it applies to the church that you were mentioning. Do you love Jesus enough to love everyone around you? Because that's what he called you to do.
Yep, that's right.
He said, love me with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your might. Well, if I'm loving Christ with everything that I have, I don't have enough love to give to my neighbor. That means that it's the love of Christ that's coming through me that goes to my neighbor. So do I love Jesus enough to love the person next to me? And guess what? The person next to me, that person's gay, and that person is transgender, or that person's a Democrat or a Republican, or that person is different than me. I'm not called to judge them. I'm called to love them. Now, I have to speak truth into whatever it is that I'm talking about. But I think that one of the problems that we face as a church right now, and again, Tozer said, you know, I think it was Spurgeon, who said that that the church at some point is going to get reduced from shepherds feeding sheep to goats and clowns. To clowns leading goats. And so is it becoming, you know, who are we as a church? And so the podcast is cool. It really gives us a chance for things we're not going to talk about on Sunday morning because they're just not sermon, you know, it's not a sermon related item. It's a conversation. It's a conversation.
You can't really do that in a one way. Right. I'm going to stand up and deliver a message. You can't. Podcast gives you that conversational.
Right.
So it's been really cool.
Yeah. So it's called Conversations.
Conversations with Kevin. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That was a trendy name. It's one I came up with.
There you go. And you can find it on our app, actually. If you go down to the bottom, on the bottom right, there's the 3 dots, and you'll click on that and go to media, and it's there under media. So we can find it there. You can find lunch breaks and sermons and all of our media items, but it's there on our app.
Sneak peek into the next one. Looks like it's probably going to be Mary Gail and Scott Saunders.
Okay.
Nice.
Mary Gail Manus and Scott Saunders. So you want to tune in for that one.
Yeah.
That'd be good. I say that.
And of course,
talking
my
about
compadre over there.
I say
Jay
talking
Rice.
about some community though. I mean, that's our community action team.
Right.
Exactly.
Scott's involved with Ignite Hope and the Hope Chest that we have here at Northwest, and some of those other things.
The Utah mission trip, all those things.
Yeah, we want to talk
Good
about
stuff.
Where can we serve?
Yeah.
So like we've talked enough about the fact we need to.
We need to.
So now how do we get out and really start putting some feet behind it? So
Love it.
I'm excited.
Yeah,
It's gonna be
yeah,
good.
it's been great. All right, well, that's where you can find it. You can find it on our app. So go listen to Conversations with Kevin. This past Sunday, before the barbecue, was wonderful. You did a great job on that sermon. It
Ezra was killer.
Yes,
Amazing.
he
The guy's
was too.
amazing.
Yeah.
Knocked it. And what he did, what is my current favorite song right now? Just that it's a Shane and Shane song is the new one he taught us. It's You've Already Won. And I think I high-fived, or I may have done a high 10 to my daughter who was standing next to me during first service, because she's like, is this the song? I'm like, yep. And so they did the woo. It was just because it was good. Like, and people were going after it. It was really, really good.
Yeah.
Just everything was good. The whole day was just good. Sunday.
was.
It's one of those days.
Phew.
It-
I mean,
it
you
really
come in here
was.
some days and you might lose a little because you're dealing with a little bit of this.
Yep.
Or a little,
Yep.
This Sunday was, especially coming out of a pretty rough season,
Yeah.
For this Sunday, it was just a really good chance to
sure.
see us as a family come together. And I don't know if you guys have taken the chance to go on Facebook and look at any of the stuff that people have posted, but it's been good.
It's been good.
Absolutely.
And
Yeah.
Ezra, I can't tell you how many people have came up, commented. So he's doing a great job. So I'm looking
is.
forward to. He's got 2 more weeks, I think.
Well,
and-
so he's got 2 more weeks, and then we're gonna have a blast from the past come and lead. Ryan Cox. Some of you know Ryan Cox.
Yeah.
He grew up here in this church. He's leading worship at a church down in Marietta. And so I was having coffee with him, just checking up on him, and I said, "Hey, I need to fill in for Memorial Day weekend." He's like, "Yeah, I could do that." And then we'll have Ezra the whole month of June again.
That's
Okay.
awesome.
So
Lots to look forward to then.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah.
It's really, and Ezra he's kind of got a bank of new songs he wants to try to help us learn, and
Right.
He was so apologetic for not. They had plans that he had already had pulled in from
Yes.
some time, but
Was he going to come to the barbecue?
Oh yeah, because I
Yeah.
brought him some of that barbecue, and he took the barbecue. And he's like,
yeah.
"This is the best pork barbecue I've ever eaten."
Yeah.
And
yeah.
so I said, "We have a lot of it." And unfortunately, he had, well, not fortunately for him. Him and
Right,
his wife had
yes.
some friends in town, and
Yes.
That's
They
good.
have
some
plans
stuff to
with
do,
friends, but
and one thing I loved about that new song, just taking the time to explain through scripture, what it is and what it's about. I just think that that's such a, it's really and again, this isn't a bad drop on any of our worship pastors in the past, because they've all done it to some level. I remember Andy used to be really good at introducing songs, and he would really go through what they meant. So it was a great weekend, and Ezra's doing a really good job, and looking forward to what we got this weekend.
gonna be good.
Yeah. What you preaching about?
This is the turn the other cheek week. Like, what do you do? It's the, you've heard it said, eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth, but I say to you. And then Jesus talking about go that extra mile. Don't just, you want my cloak? Well, here's my tunic as well. And so how do we engage with that in our culture and talk about something that's poignant and relevant for our world, especially the season we're walking into, political conflict, it's dividing families, it's all this stuff. It's for a lot of us, people on the other side of the aisle are those enemies that we come in contact with the most. Well, how do we treat them?
Yeah, I think asking that question up front too, that we were just talking about a minute ago, is the same way, right? Like, do I love Jesus enough to let this, this person get it? And again, I'm getting away from the reference of actually slapping on the cheek, because it's a great reference, but even just to let them in, or to forgive them for cutting me off, or to, any of those things is, and it's a great lesson in that for sure.
And one of the things that we'll talk about is, that Jesus talks about, someone strikes you on the cheek, turn the other cheek. He's coming out of a shame and honor culture. So for us, that would be, that'd be offensive. You come on, you slap me. Oh, well, who do you think you are? I may fight you back. But in Jesus' day and his culture, it carried so much more weight if someone were to come and do that to you. It wasn't just a start of a fight. It was beyond demeaning. Like, and it carried so much more cultural weight to it. And so when Jesus comes along and says, okay, let him do it to the other side too. Talk about a radical statement. I mean, and it goes back to what you said. Like, do you love Christ enough to love people that you so fundamentally disagree with, or maybe treated you so poorly, or drug your name through them? Like, that's rubber meets the road stuff.
And and how many times have we had stuff stolen from us and how it makes us feel, you know?
I was talking to a guy today. He had stuff stolen off his porch. The Amazon deliveries, like just stolen off his porch. Like, and he was all riled up about it. And I get it. Like, I'd fire me up too, but
to just think of it through that context of,
right.
No, if he takes your cloak, give him your tunic as well. Like, they obviously needed it more than you needed it because you left it. You know, I have not felt sorry for you for the last 3 weeks.
Not right.
So I'm just
in a while.
This whole series.
Yeah, in a while.
This whole series, like the Beatitudes, walking through all those, talk about person, and then especially these last couple of weeks, when you have to stand up there and say, hey, I'm going to take it easy on you. We're just going to talk about lying and lack of integrity. Oh. And that's the easy one?
Yeah.
So
you'll have to find that guy that helped talk you into this Sermon on the Mount series and give him quite the number.
Is he sitting over here next to me?
He might be sitting to your right.
Yeah.
So,
Well, this week also is Mother's Day, so do not forget.
Yes.
This weekend.
It's Mother's Day.
It's also Mother's Day.
My mom lives in Rome, so I'll give her something nice, you know, but everyone always asks me what I'm getting Mandy for Mother's Day, and I kindly tell everyone she's not my mother, so I'm leaning on. So Sydney and Avery, if you're watching this, your mother needs a Mother's Day present.
Yes.
All of my children.
Yes, that's right. There you go. But you're supposed to help them, but I guess they're old enough now. They don't need.
You got
your
one that's
help,
18 and one that's 26. It's time to figure it out.
That's right.
Well,
I agree.
Your oldest is getting your wife a grandchild.
Exactly.
Like, I mean, like that's a pretty good Mother's Day.
That's a Mother's Day present all in itself.
Right?
I agree.
That's
coming
true.
soon.
I don't know that Mandy looks at it too much as her her child as much as her grandchild.
Uh-huh.
You know?
Oh man.
We've often said we were going to move to somewhere and not tell them exactly where we live, just tell them what town we're moving to.
Yeah.
So that we can meet them at the grocery store to pick the kids up and drop the kids off. We don't want them to know where to drop them off with us.
Right.
So we want to make sure that's a mutual thing.
Yeah.
Yes. Have some
We're
control
excited
over it.
about it. But
That's
Mother's Day
super cool.
weekend, it should be. Mother's Day weekends are always good here too.
Yeah,
they
for
are.
sure.
They're always good.
Yep. And
For
then
sure.
the weekend after that, speaking of babies, is baby dedication. So we've got a few families registered for that.
Yeah.
If you or your family, if you want to be involved in that, go to the app under upcoming events. It's not too late to register, so you can still register to be a part of baby dedication. Our children's team has some really great things planned for baby dedication. Cool. So it's
really
the
cool.
11 o'clock service.
May 19th, right? That's the May 19th?
That's right.
Okay.
That's right. And then the week after that is One Service Sunday.
We get a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
We always have a lot of stuff, though.
It's that time of year, though, too.
Yeah, it is. It is that season. But One Service is going to be. I like One Service Sundays. I know it's tight sometimes, and we're in that weird in between of like we're too big to really do one service on the regular, so we have to have two services. But I'd love to grow more so that like both services feel full, like one service Sunday. But one service Sunday, they're just fun. It's going to be a lot of fun. Memorial Day weekend. So
So like the barbecue too, you know, when you do the one service Sundays, you get the whole
everybody
community
together.
here.
Whole families together.
Yeah, it's great.
It's super fun.
I like them as well.
10 a.m., right? We're doing 10 a.m.?
Yes.
Still? Okay,
10 a.m. That's right.
Awesome.
And then on the app, too, you can find out about all the other things we have going on, especially this summer. VBS registration is already open because VBS is going to be here before we know it.
We're doing scuba this year.
Yeah.
Scuba stuff. And
so much fun.
so I have an idea.
Oh,
that I'm
my
not
goodness.
sure. I know I got to talk about it because I got to get some
ahead.
moral support. Do you remember American Gladiator? Like that TV show?
I don't know where this is going, but
Right,
yes,
But do
I
you remember
remember
that TV show? Okay, so
wait.
the best part of the American Gladiator is when they would run the gauntlet, you know, and then you had the gladiators like standing up there shooting the tennis balls at people and stuff. So we're doing a water theme, and the last day we're gonna do a water day. I want to do American Gladiators with water, and I want to get like on a scaffold with a hose, like not necessarily a fire hose because that would probably hurt children, but like make them have to run, and I'm gonna try to spray them and hose. I just think it would be amazing. I could see me and like Stacy up there with me because he'd be like one of the gladiators. Like, I just think it would be so cool. Squirt guns and standing up and spraying water on kids. They're gonna love it.
I do barbecue. I'm no gladiator. Is all I'm gonna say. I love the idea, but I think a Pastor J dunk tank would be fun as well.
That would be fun as well. Talk to the kids.
When is
ministry
VBS?
Team. It's the end of June.
I could get in the dunk tank because it's gonna be hot.
Oh,
it's
will be hot.
So I could do that as long as the water's not
end
hot.
Of June. I'll make sure the kids ministry
Nothing
team
says
watches
scuba.
this.
Scuba like
a dunk tank.
Dunk tank.
Yes.
Okay, we
I
can
like
work on that
too. Yeah, absolutely.
So-
And then the students are also going to camp the week before VBS. And
Okay.
so if you have a upcoming rising 6th through 12th grader, they can attend camp. We're all going together. It's going to be a lot
that's
of
gonna be
fun.
fun.
Yeah, it's in Alabama, camp in Alabama. So it's going to be a lot of fun. So it's not too late to register for that as well. So
love it.
so much going on. All right. Well, Kevin, thank you for joining
Thank you
us
guys
today.
for having me. Yeah, I appreciate it.
Appreciate it. And we will see you for lunch break next week.